Are the New York Knicks planning on signing sharpshooting big man Davis Bertans in NBA free agency? We're going to break that down as reports are coming out from Michael Scotto of Hoops Hype that the Knicks are interested in signing this player. So we'll talk about it, but first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We put out free, informative, entertaining content 24/7, 365 on your New York Knicks, and we are almost catching up to the Los Angeles Lakers Report, another channel here at Chat Sports. So if you love the Knicks, you hate the Lakers, and you want free videos every day, smash that sub button. What's going on, everybody? You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Let's dive into it. Michael Scotto of Hoops Hypes is reporting that the Knicks have expressed interest in signing free agent Davis Bertans. And there's a couple of different ways that the Knicks could go about putting a contract in front of him that he would sign, but I don't think he's anything more than a veteran minimum player at this point. As you see, the New York Knicks have $172 million in projected salary. They're right over that tax threshold and right below that first apron. Not hard capped there anymore. Shout out to the Knicks front office as they were able to get that Mikal Bridges trade done. They do own that taxpayer mid-level exception, which would pay Bertans $5.2 million in his first year with the New York Knicks. But in my opinion, I don't think he's that type of player because where is he really going to play? You got Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson starting with your bench unit being Deuce McBride, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Pacome Dadier, Keita Bates-Diop, and Jericho Sims. So you could use maybe a stretch four off the bench, but how often is he going to play? Is Bertans going to be getting playoff minutes under Tom Thibodeau? I would probably say not. I think at this point we have learned if you don't rebound, you don't protect the rim, and you don't play defense, you're probably not going to play that much for Tibbs. But what you do get with Bertans is one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA. He has not shot less than 38% in each of the last two seasons. Didn't shoot the ball all that well for some reason in 2021, only 33.5% from three, but right back to it in 2020, 2021, knocking down 39.5% of his threes. Over the last 4 years, he averages 5 three-pointers attempted per game, and he's knocking them down at about 37%. What's interesting with Bertans is he's not a corner three guy. He's more of an above-the-break three guy, which means he likes to operate and really function in those pick and pops. And that would bring a little bit of a wrinkle to a New York Knicks team. They don't really have a pick and pop threat. As you can see in 2022, 2023, he shot 106 threes above the break. Above the break threes are pretty much threes that are not in the corners. They are at the top of the circle. He knocked down 36% of those, whereas last year, playing for multiple teams, he shot 38.8% on above the break threes. So it brings a new type of dynamic to this team. And you really should never complain when your team is trying to add more shooting because as the NBA continues to grow and evolve, it's all about really which team knocks it down the best from the perimeter. The Boston Celtics, they did multiple things well, but they were also the best three-point shooting team in the NBA. And adding a guy like Bertans, pick and pop threat, and someone that is elite when it comes to catch and shooting threes outside of this season, which was an anomaly for him, it would make a lot of sense. And when you run an offense with Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, two players that are double-teamed almost more than anybody in the NBA, you're going to have people wide open on the perimeter. And if you could add another sharp shooter that knocks out almost 40% of his threes to a roster that already features OG Anunoby, 40% on catch and shoots. Mikal Bridges, 40% on catch and shoots. Deuce McBride, north of 40%. Dante DiVincenzo, north of 40%. Josh Hart, league average catch and shoot three-point guy. The more snipers that you can surround Brunson and Randle with, your offense is going to operate at a much higher clip and just be a better functioning offense overall. You can never have too many shooters. What do you think? Should the Knicks sign Davis Bertans, type S for sign, type P for pass? I wouldn't do it for anything more than the veteran minimum. I'm not giving him the taxpayer mid-level exception. I think you could find a player at that price point that helps your team a little bit more. But what do you think? S for sign, P for pass. Let's close the show quickly talking about Precious Achiuwa, the big man for the New York Knicks that they acquired in that OG Anunoby trade. Has not yet inked the deal to go play for another team, is still a free agent. And Ian Begley of SNY said this on Twitter last night, saying he has interest from several contenders and has multiple offers on the table. We'll see where he goes in the coming days. And really, I don't understand why a deal has not gotten done. The Knicks can re-sign Precious Achiuwa. It doesn't have to come down to cap space. Doesn't have to come down to first apron space. They own his bird rights, which means they can go over the salary cap to re-sign him. There's no reason to let Precious Achiuwa walk at this point. He played well when he had to be a spot starter for you. He played well when he came off the bench, and he was a plus in that trade. There were points in this season when we were asking ourselves, is Precious Achiuwa the third best player in this OG Anunoby RJ Barrett trade? Maybe not, but he had a good impact for New York, and he's had a solid NBA career, and he is someone that would be a great bench big for the New York Knicks. You could play small ball 5 with him, or you can go big with him at the 4. We've seen him guard Joel Embiid in the playoffs. He can come off the weak side and challenge shots at the rim, and he's a really good offensive rebounder as well. Last year, averaging 8 points per game and 7 rebounds. If he could continue to work on that outside shot a little bit, he can be a serious rotation piece on a winning team. The thing that I fell in love with about Achiuwa was, though, his ability to go from almost out of the rotation on the bench to being thrusted into the starting lineup for 18 games during the regular season and producing at a high clip, averaging 13 points and 10 rebounds with almost 4 offensive rebounds per game, nearly 2 blocks and 1.1 steals. He was effective, and he did his job when he was called upon. And look, another benefit to re-signing Achiuwa can help you at the NBA trade deadline. Re-signing Precious also give the Knicks a nice piece to use at the trade deadline if they wanted to make a deal. And it's not because of the type of player he is. Let's say you go out there and you give Precious Achiuwa a 3-year, $21 million deal. You now have $7 million to match an outgoing salary to acquire a player. There is no reason the New York Knicks should not re-sign Achiuwa. You don't have a backup 5 outside of Jericho Sims and rookie Ariel Huck-Porty. You don't really have a true backup power forward, as Keita Bates-Diop and Josh Hart are the players right there. And Achiuwa, he can wear both of those shoes. He can be your backup 4. He can be your spot starting 5. He can play the 5 off the bench. He offers lineup versatility, and he's a New Yorker through and through. There's no reason that Precious Achiuwa should not re-sign with the New York Knicks. If you want Achiuwa back in the blue and orange, hit that thumbs up icon for me. Let's get the good vibes rolling. The more likes we can get on this video, maybe the more likely it is that Achiuwa re-signs with the Knicks. I think it makes a lot of sense for the basketball fit, the team fit, culture, money, and the ability to maybe in the future change his contract into a player that you want more so on this team. Like this video if you haven't yet. And if you could, please give me a follow over on social media. I'm on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_, as well as on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. I'm tweeting, I'm posting every day about the Knicks, so hit me up over there, and let's go.